Whoo! Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's having a great and a healthy, productive day. So, I wanted to give a little bit of insight to a conversation that I had with a client over the last few days. Don't remember when it was, but we were talking in relation to his topic of conversation was more about I keep finding myself in situations that seem familiar to me. And those situations never work out in their favor, whether that would be a relationship, whether that be, a business partnership, whatever, some sort of relationship that he is over and over and over again finding himself in. And so my question to him was, are you trying to prove or reveal some type of evidence to yourself? In which, in context to this, would probably seem like a very strange question. What I mean by that is oftentimes we have an internal narrative about ourselves. So there is a subconscious context, a container of sorts that we feel about ourselves. These could be a variety of different things. It could be, I'm not enough, I don't matter, I'm not safe, I'm not smart, I'm not this, I'm not that, okay? It can be any number of these different contextual containers that we may internally, subconsciously, or sometimes consciously be aware of ourselves. And thus we carry this with us throughout our, childhood into adulthood, and we seek out evidence to validate that internal feeling. So back to my question to him is, are you trying to find evidence that this exists? Because we've uncovered a lot of different things from a lot of different places, right? So we've kind of done a lot of work as it relates to getting back to why certain things are the way that they are. So in context of this conversation, it really makes sense to him is, am I trying to provide myself with evidence? Why do I keep showing up in the same situations with different people? Is there something is telling me? And the answer to that is yes. It's my firm belief that we are going to consistently repeat and recycle the same experiences over and over and over again until we don't, until we realize what we're doing, because we are going to automatically go to what is familiar to us, and what is familiar to us is not always healthy. This is why people bounce from relationship to relationship to relationship, and if they really reconciled and they really took the reins back, they could see the commonalities in all these different situations. They may be completely different people on the surface, but the situations, the experiences keep getting recycled over and over and over again. Now, those that may not internalize things to really be able to go in and ask themselves, well, why do I keep showing up this way? Will point to the outside world and say, well, all men are this, all women are that. Right? We've heard this always in a dating situation, is all men are cheaters and all women are crazy or whatever, okay? Whatever hyperbole that we throw out there that sort of kind of gets filtered into like the everyday vernacular of things that we say. But is that really true? Of course it's not. It's nowhere even close to true. We have no proof of that. There may be people, but not all people or any one thing. Point being is when we develop this narrative about who we are, it is so easy for us to fall into a cycle of trying to prove and validate that narrative. We do this through relationships. We do this through our perspective. If I believe I'm a failure, I'm going to find every which way there is to validate that. Whether it be, I screwed up in a spelling bee when I was 7 years old and misspelled a word, and then through that, my reactions with my parental units, this didn't happen, but let's just say that it did, I'm a failure. So then therefore, as I move on in life, I'm going to find ways to validate that feeling about myself. And I'm going to carry that around with me for my entire life until I stop, until I realize that the answers are never here. They're anything I can reach out for. It's always going to be here. And that's one of the things that I try to get across to people that I coach is I don't have the answers. I'm never going to have the answers. I may be able to ask specific questions that get one to think, to try to go back, dissolve a root cause as to why something is the way that it is. But I'm never going to have those answers. I only have answers for myself. I don't have answers for you. And that's the main, and no one does. That's the great thing about it is no one has the answers for you. You do. You have all the answers. They are all here. We're just clouded with distractions and external things that take away from our inherent intuition about ourselves and who we are. So I asked you this question. If you're finding yourself running into the same situations with different people, you're recycling the same experiences, my question to you is what are you trying to prove to yourself? What evidence are you trying to provide? What evidence are you trying to validate an internal narrative that you have about you? When you get to the point of introspection and you're really trying to evaluate your behaviors, not looking at someone else and telling them that they're wrong and they caused you to do this, or it's because of them that you feel this way, which is a victim mentality. No one can make you feel any which way. No one can. It requires your allowance. No one can make Josh Bowen feel any which way. I have to allow for it. No matter what it was they did, no matter what it was they said, I have to allow for that feeling to exist. It's not possible if I do not allow it. So, what evidence are you trying to find? From there, I think the next set of questions and conversations is what are we going to do about it? How are we going to reconcile it? How are we going to let it go? How are we going to heal from it? That's where I come in. So if it's something that you want to step into and you really want to get introspective about yourself, curious about yourself is probably a better way of asking it and saying it, is are you curious about you? Because the real growth comes in here. It's never out here. You can acquire all the information that you want. You can acquire all the education you want. You can acquire everything and still not be happy and still not know really and truly who you are and why you are here. Because it's my opinion that that's the answers to those questions are the ones that we all want, at least subconsciously. So I'd love to have a conversation with you about this, what your biggest challenges are, what challenges you face, and how maybe I can help you with those. So drop it in the comment section, direct message me personally, whatever you got to do, whatever your comfort, messaging, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay? Got them all. Love to hear from you. Hope everybody has a great day and really starts to get introspective and ask yourselves these very difficult questions, because with the answers come the growth. With the growth comes the peace and the freedom within yourself. And that's the greatest gift anybody could ever be given. Buff Gandhi, I'm out.